Reporting from Arkham Asylum, this is Gotham Rogues. In this video we take a look at the comic storyline, Batman Clay. Clay is a one-shot published in Detective Comics Annual Volume 2, Issue 1, just a couple of months ago. I guess that makes it the most recent comic I've ever reviewed on this channel. Anyway, the comic was written by James Tynion IV and penciled by Eddy Barrows. The story is a retelling of Clayface's origin for the current Rebirth continuity. In it we meet Basil Carlo, the son of Vincent Carlo. Yeah, these horror movie actor homages aren't very subtle, are they? Anyway, Vincent is a washed-up former practical effects man in Hollywood, known for creating various movie monsters. His secret ingredient was a chemical produced by Daggett Industries called Renew You, which when mixed with putty and wax could shape anything, even skin, like malleable clay. 20 years later, Basil has become a famous movie star, and he desperately wants the lead role in a tragic horror film called Second Skin. It's about a has-been silent film star who learns that a sound remake is being made of his greatest picture. Thus he goes mad and starts to kill off the new cast. Yeah, the classic Basil Carlo story from the 40s. Basil is actually the director's top choice for the role, but as fate would have it, the actor ends up in a car crash just prior to being cast. Basil is hideously disfigured in the accident, and thinking that his career is now over, he remembers his father's Renew You cream. He takes what little is left, and is able to shape his looks into what they used to be. But the problem is, he needs more Renew You, lots more, but it hasn't been sold in years. So, sealing his destiny as a bat rogue, Basil comes to Gotham City, where he's going to raid Daggett Industries. Naturally, things don't end very well. So, it wasn't really that long ago that Clayface got a new origin. He got one during the New 52, written by Greg Hurwitz, which I placed as my #1 Clayface story back in 2016. Now here we are with yet another new origin for Basil. And I guess Basil has been firmly established as the default Clayface now. Matt Hagen doesn't even seem to exist whatsoever anymore, and you can forget about Preston Payne and the rest. It is a shame to see them fade into obscurity, but at the same time this helps define Clayface as a character, as the multiple Clayfaces and convoluted backstory for Carlo was kinda tricky to follow. So as you notice from the plot description, and as you of course know if you read the story, this particular version of Clayface's origin takes many cues from the character's history. We've got aspects from different Clayface iterations molded together here. For example, Roland Daggett and Renew You, that's straight out of Batman the Animated Series. There's more from Taz too. Basil is a big movie star who's been disfigured in an accident. The basic plot is essentially Feet of Clay Part 1 and 2 from Taz, minus the revenge scheme on Daggett. Here, Roland doesn't even appear. Only his company and name does. By the way, isn't this the first time Daggett is included in the comics? I can't remember any other instances where he was featured. Anyway, besides Renew You, what this Clayface wants is revenge on the movie crew who's making Second Skin. Basil obviously ends up not getting the part, and then they go ahead and cast someone else. He doesn't like that, and feels that the role was supposed to be his. So this is drawing from Clayface's first appearance, as it's kinda reminiscent of the whole Terror remake plot. And the movie in the story, Second Skin, is that first Clayface story from 1940. So what we've got here is the first appearance woven in with Feet of Clay. I think that was a great idea, combining these classic Clayface stories from the past. It doesn't really create anything new or do anything groundbreaking with the character, but it takes the best parts of Clayface and shapes them into what you might call the ultimate Clayface. That's really what I think this story is, the ultimate Clayface story. The character is such a mess, with so many different, confusing versions and depictions, but here we've got the main essentials included in one neat package. That might have been just what Clayface needed, as opposed to the New 52 origin, which did create something brand new. Obviously that didn't stick though, and I've also learned that there's a lot of people who don't even like that story. As for me, I still love it. I would probably still call it my favorite Clayface story, Basil Carlo's story that is. But if somebody who's never read a Clayface comic in their life came to me and asked which story to pick up, I wouldn't say the New 52 one, nor the Golden Age one. I'd say pick this one up. Like I said, it's got all you need, and it's a great way for new people to get into the character. A character who at least used to be hard for noobs to get into, due to the confusing baggage he came included with. If I did my top 5 best Clayface stories video today, this one would naturally have been on there. In which spot? I don't know, but at least as the second best Carlo story. Keep in mind that that video also featured Matt Hagen's stories. So I said this comic doesn't really offer anything new, but that's not quite true. We do get a new characterization and core motivations for Basil. Why does he so desperately want to part in Second Skin? Is there even any real reason? Yes, there is. He wants to show the world his sad, dark side, but he wants them to still love him despite it. His dad taught him to never do that, that everyone has an ugly monster within them, one that's best kept hidden. Basil wants to prove his father wrong, that even after seeing him in such an ugly role, people will still love him. Well, ironically, that monstrous side certainly comes to life when he becomes Clayface, and I guess his father was right. Nobody loved Basil Carlo after that. This is a new spin on a character. It's less about a shape-shifting actor and more about that ugly monster within, tying into the whole theme of movie monsters. Basil is also not depicted as a theatrical eccentric, which he used to be. Instead, he's more serious and straight-faced. Are these improvements? I don't know, not necessarily, but they're not worse at least. So there you have it. That's Clayface's new origin. Let's see how long this one holds. Probably a lot longer than the previous one, I'd bet. I can't really see any Clayface fans being dissatisfied with this take. It's both a wonderful homage to the character's long history and a great jumping on point for new readers. What more can you really ask for? So, on an unrelated note, a few people have been asking for updates on my horror novel, so might as well give you some now. It's basically done. I've even got a cover which you see right in front of you now. I ended up doing it myself, although I'm obviously not the illustrator. I used other means. The story is called Cell 11, and if you remember I mentioned the plot being about a specific case which this government agency investigates. That specific case concerns an anomalous prison isolation cell. I'm going to publish it as an ebook, so there won't be any physical copies. Once it is up, I'll do an announcement video dedicated to just that. Anyway, as always, remember, Arkham Asylum awaits you in the next video.